She's still looking pretty sad, but we're getting there. Now that this is all welded up, I need to fit it up. Today is Sunday, and I usually try to get out in the garage for a few hours during the week and go hard on a Saturday. And then Sundays, I really don't really do much. Sunday's basically my day for relaxing. Maybe come out to the garage for a couple hours to do something small. So that's why this project seems to be taking a while. I'm in no rush to get it done. It's coming along slowly but surely. I do want to make sure this fits up. We can remove the bushings, the grease zerks, TMR 15 it, and off to the races. I confirmed it fits, removed the bushings, get her painted, and then reinstalled. Just gone through the whole process of the degreaser, metal prep, cleaned, dried, start painting. This is something I'm going to point out every time I use the POR 15. I did this, did the 2 brackets underneath, and this was a used can that I had left over from when I did that fender, and I'm just below half. I can't stress this enough. If you're using POR 15, buy it in the little 6-pack. When you're done, save yourself a hassle. Use a plastic bag, put it over top, seal it so you can get the lid off again. You'll thank me later. Still got quite a bit of beers in the beer fridge, but I'm gonna have to make a run pretty soon. And that, I would like to thank my Patreon supporters for keeping my beer fridge filled up. Without you guys, I'd have to buy my own beer. Much appreciated, because I don't do sponsorships, so my builds are completely out of my own pocket. And because of that, what you see in my channel is products that I buy because I think at the time that they're good and they're affordable. Unlike a lot of other people who are sucking the corporate dick, you ain't gonna see that here. If I say something's good, it's because I mean it. I ain't getting paid for it. POR's all dried. Pretty impressed. Came out pretty nice. Pro tip right here, should not busting your balls in the future. Anti-seize the bolt so it doesn't get stuck in that metal sleeve. This is the moment where I remove the blocks, lower the jacks, and see if my welds are going to hold or not. There was a little bit of flex, but it's holding. At least I know the frame isn't rotten. Now I get to pull the transfer case back off, put a gasket on there, put her back on for good, hook up the cable. Well, this blindsided me, and I should have actually caught it, but I wasn't thinking about it, is that I took off the transfer case to put the gasket on, and I was going to put it back together, and I was getting this into place, you know, to fit her up, and no line up with the hole. You know why? Because This bracket from Novak Conversions was set up for the Jeep 231 transfer case. So now I'm going to have to remodify this bracket to work for my needs. And if you are looking for a transfer case shift alternative instead of the bars, this kit from Novak has actually worked really well. It's been in here for quite a few years and I haven't had any issues at all. I've been really impressed with it, but now I need to modify it. I need to go outside of the shed, get the Jeep transfer case so I can kind of see where the holes are in reference to the shifter, because that's going to make a difference when it goes to how we're going to modify that bracket to make it work. So basically going to go straight in, which this bottom pin right here is pretty much the same spot as this one here. So as long as I follow the same angle, I just got to cut that top bracket and weld the spacer so it goes up to that top one. I think we'll be good. Should be an easy mod. So now that I got the bracket on the table, the first thing I'm going to do is zip it off somewhere right around here. That'll be a good starting point for us, because we don't really need to extend this bracket too much. I got a piece of filler here, our piece here. This will probably work if I just ground it down, because I don't need an awful lot to extend it. But let's cut it off and then we'll see. Just when you thought the world of fabrication was over, just gonna make a quick little mod right here. A little zip there, a little zip there, tack weld it, remove it, test fit it. If it's gonna fit, weld her up. Got a nice gap in there, so I should be able to get some good fill. Just gotta do a little slight trim on that one piece, but it looks like we're gonna be a-okay. Welded up, grinded her down. That's how it's gonna look. If you want to get all fancy pants, go ahead. Sick of fabricating. I just want to get this project done. I just threw some primer on here, then threw some black paint, so we're ready to assemble this, line it up, and then the shifting should work as it should. Alright, this is where the savageness kicks in. The original transmission cable bracket is actually right here, and it uses a Torx head, and those were seized up, and I stripped the Torx, so I wasn't gonna fuck around with it trying to extract it, so I just cut the bracket off savagely, and that's just the way it's gonna stay for the present moment. But I got the bracket in. I just gotta set the alignment and then make sure there's gonna be no clearance issues. I think I should be good. Theoretically, I got the pin in there now, so I should be able to shift through the gears. She's close, but it'll work. So that part's taken care of. Now we can work on the transmission, trying to get that shifter sorted out. And then once that's done, this undercarriage is completely finished. This drive shaft's only maybe 1.5 inches, couple inches too long, so I'll probably take it into a driveline shop and see if they can shorten it for me. That'll probably be the cheapest way instead of getting a new one built. Hello, Mr. Toms. What are you doing? Do you want to get brushed? Do you? What's your favorite part of the day when you get your daily brushing? I know, Mr. Dongets. I know. I know you love being brushed. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. People say that you look so angry all the time, Dongets. I just tell people that's your signature look. Do you look grumpy? Do you look grumpy all the time? I think you do. Looks like the coilover shock on my pickup I installed not that long ago, a few years ago, shit the bed. And the pinion seal I did probably about 6 years ago is leaking again too. I need to do U-joints on this drive axle maybe this weekend. I'll get a new seal as well. Holy shit storm. This came out of nowhere. Well, this is more snags that you're going to encounter, most likely if you're doing a V8 swap. This more has to do with the engine placement because it's right close to the firewall there. For this bracket, I'd have to modify the firewall to make it fit. And then this piece fits very close to the tunnel. So I don't think I'm gonna go down that rabbit hole. So what I need to do is look for a 4L60 shifter that's going to mount on the bottom of the oil pan and then pull the shifter back, because I think I can make that work. As long as the cable's behind here, it'll clear the drive shaft. But yeah, that's kind of a pisser. Look at this OCD nightmare as I just pack parts in here. I'm going to need to pull the center console out and see what I'm looking at. While I'm at it, I might as well pull the throttle cable out too, because throttle cable is way too long for my application that I'm going to need. Just need to get something a little bit shorter. And this is the transmission shifter cable as well. So this I picked up from Novak. Whoops. This I picked up from Novak Conversion. It would have worked slick if it would have worked for my application. But it's not going to work for me. Maybe I'll keep it around. Might have use for it in the future. Same with this. I picked up this, but I also, for my lowrider years ago, I don't know if I still have it inside here. I still do. I still do. I should have the little triangle shifter piece in there too somewhere. Well, it seems like this video has kind of gone down the rabbit hole from what I wanted to do and what actually happened. So I'm just going to get into a little bit of story time right now. And seems to be a lot less people with critical thinking skills. I'm going to give you guys a perfect example where somebody should just fucking bang their head against the wall a few times and think, holy fuck, am I retarded? And this is from a fellow coworker who went on a trip to deliver something on a flatbed trailer, took the Ford F-350 pickup, and on their way, on their journey, the pickup truck died and was stranded on the side of the road. So boss asked me what I figured. I said, well, if the F-350 just died, I mean, there's a common issue with the oil leak problems, so that the injectors lose pressure and will die. That's happened to me, also with the high pressure fuel pump. And I said those could be some very real possibilities. They're very common problems with the truck, considering that he just, you know, I made the question. I said, did he run out of fuel? And the boss says, no, apparently he filled up before he left. So, but he had to get a tow truck and towed to the Ford dealership. And this is where it gets a little bit dicey, because the following week, when Ford had a chance to look at it, they called back and said they flipped the switch to the fuel tanks and the truck fired up, and it's been working perfectly ever since. And the question that I like to know is that this person drives this truck all the time, fuels up both fucking fuel tanks. How do you not sit there for a couple hours and see a switch in the dash and think, you know what, maybe I should switch to fuel tanks and see what fucking happens, you know? I just, humanity, I just don't understand it, because some people sometimes are just fucking way out to lunch. I think it's motherfucking beer time. What should I dig out of the fridge? I think I'll have a good old chill coot. Best beer ever. All right, motherfucking beer time, everybody. Chilkoot beer from the Yukon. My favorite lager of all time. So now we're at the crossroads once again. I gotta research some shifters. I need to try to find something that's gonna work with the console without too much modification. This is gonna be going down the rabbit hole big time. Definitely need to figure out, probably go with the B&M shifter. I need something that's gonna connect to the bolts on the bottom of the oil pan. I don't want something that straddles over top of the transmission. I want a cable shifter, so that's what I'm gonna look at. But we're gonna take a quick time out from that in the next video, because I need to work on the F-150, need to change the rear pinion seal, rebuild the rear drive shaft. The fucking truck is beat up and abused, but I just got to make it last a year. And I think I was thinking about buying another Jeep JK, but I think having two Jeeps right now would be kind of pointless. Don't worry, we're still going to use the 4BT in a future project. I don't know if it's going to be a Jeep, but I think for the situation that I want to do, overlanding and some wheeling, I think two separate types of vehicles would be best suited for that. Another pickup truck for overlanding, that way I can put my quad in the back, plus pull the trailer I'm going to build. Or if I'm not going to take my quad, take the Jeep and the trailer. I have some ideas on a trailer, looking at a company that builds a kit so it saves time. I just got to build the frame, and you can buy the plans for the frame. So then I just go to the shop where I get my metal from, price out how much it costs, get them to cut all the metal for me, save me some time. But anyways, that's what I got in mind right now. I'm not gonna have two Jeeps. I talked about it. A lot of numerous things. These Jeep videos for the LS swap just aren't getting enough views as I would have liked. So I'm going to move on to something else. There's too many people in the world of Jeeps producing content, and my F-150 videos for views actually get a heck of a lot more than the Jeep ones. But anyways, I'm going to get going. If you have any questions or comments, post them below, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.